TSA as she can prefer no comment regarding the TSA. Scott, please.
Yeah, any response? Any response?
The only response is that the deponent will be called and the person who made that reference will also be called to come and testify.
Fine, let them be called, because let me just read what the hearsay evidence says. You see, the state is objecting. It's different if the state doesn't object. And this is what 3A says. Subject to the provisions of any other law, hearsay evidence shall not be admitted as evidence at a criminal or civil proceedings unless A, each party against whom the evidence is to be adduced agrees to the admission thereof as evidence as such proceedings. I don't have to go any further. And the interest of justice won't be frustrated or infringed because you also say the witness is coming to testify at this trial. Okay. You should know the law in your head. Okay, fine. Right, any further questions, ma'am?
Thank you, my lord. Ms. Khumalo, you further testified that you were called to make a facial image of the second intruder. I just have one question regarding that portion of evidence. You remember that?
Okunye futhi okushilo ukuthi wabizwa ke ukuthi uzolekelela noma uzosiza ekudwebeni ke ama facial features alo wesibili umsolo nginombuzo nje owodwa mayelana nalokho.
Yebo njalo.
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that the diagram that you completed had already been completed by other witnesses.
Ushilo futhi ukuthi nalapho ke kukhona la wafika wena wafaka khona babe sebekhona ke abanye babe nezinto abasebeyifakile vele.
Yebo njalo.
That's true.
So in other words, the description that was given into this statement of Colonel Steenkamp did not come from you for the description of the suspect.
Akusho ukuthi lokuchaza ke okukhona lapha yana kulokubhalwe uyena uSteenkamp mayelana naye ke umsola kwakungasuki kuwena.
Mina wangibuza ukuthi kulo second suspect ikuphi engak-eda and ikuphi mhlambe ngifuna ukuthi enze ama adjustment khona.
What Steenkamp asked me was, what is it with regards to the second suspect that I would like her to add, or that I would like to add, or where I would like her to make adjustments?
And then ngamphendula ngiyakhumbula khona ukuthi angisazi noma ngasho ama eyelash na ama eyebrows na but ngamtshela futhi ukuthi uyena ngempela.
And I responded, I can't remember whether I said it's the eyebrows, but I confirmed with Steenkamp that it was indeed him.
But in short, my question is that whatever description that was given,
diagram.
and in the same statement of Steenkamp, I'll just read the paragraph which refers to you. In this statement, the statement was signed, my lord, on the 31st of October 2014 in Pretoria. Warrant Officer Steenkamp. You see that? Okay. Then go to page 3, wherein it says the second witness was Kelly's sister Zandi Khumalo. You see that paragraph?
Page 3. Okay. It's page 4.
Page 4. Yes.
Page 4.
Can I read, my lord, for the record?
Yes.
The second witness was Kelly's sister Zandi Khumalo. She told a similar version and gave a similar profile and facial description of suspect A. The only feature she adds was the eyebrows. She saw the eyebrows when suspect A lost his headgear during the scuffling with the deceased. She could not describe the second suspect.
Lana ke ubhala athi uStienkamp owesibili ufakazi wakudadlukheli uZandi Khumalo washo ke okufanayo mayela ke neprofile kanye futhi ke nama description obuso akhe ususpect A. Kuphela ke awakungeza kwakuwama eyebrows. Wawabona ke wona akhe ususpect A uma sekuwa isigqoko sakhe nkathi ayelwisana naye umufi. Akazange noma akakamchazanga ke noma akakwazanga ukumchaza owesibili umsolwa.
Engifuna ukusho lapho ukuthi wangibuza nje ukuthi la ku suspect B ikuphi ofuna ukuthi ngushintshe ngathi mina lokho engikubonayo uyena impela.
What I know is that she asked me, with regards to suspect B, what is it that we would like me to change? And then I just said, it is indeed him.
Hayi ukuthi bengingakwazi ukumdescribe cha.
Not that I was unable to describe him, no.
So it means she is not correct what she wrote there.
Okay, ngaphendula.
Angazi ukuthi mayihlanganiswa lento ihlanganiswa kanjani angiyona professional yale department but angazi.
I don't know when this now is then brought up or brought together, how do they make it? I am not a professional in this department.
But it's not what you said.
Angizwa lokho ngakusho mina ukuthi ngiyambona uyena uphelele hayi ukuthi angikwazi ukumdescribe.
What I said was that I'm able to see that it's him, he's complete, not that I'm unable to describe him.
Okay, but my question is, what is written there? It's not what you said.
So okubhalwe la lokho akubhalwe la egcineni lokho asikona owakusho wena. No.
Okay, let's move on. My Lord, I just want to refer the witness to the identification parade that was conducted at GP.
Yes.
I have asked that it be uploaded also as well. I've given the state my copy as well. I know you have been taken through this form.
Ngiyazi ke bebesebe dilishana ke nawe ngale form lena
Of the identification parade that you attended at GP police station.
yale ID ke owaya kuyona ke eGP police station
On the 29th of October 2014.
nge 29 ka October 2014.
But I just want to take you through few issues.
Khona nje okuthize ke engifisa ukuthi ke dingide nawe.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
In this document, if I can just summarize it from the evidence that we have given in this court about the occurrence and the role played by you, that you did not point anyone out, but you said he was similar.
Uma nje kafishane nje ngale document lena noma okwenzeka la ukuthi akunamuntu owamkhomba kodwa wathi nje kukhona ukufana okuthize.
Yes.
I hear.
That was the first mistaken identity that you gave when the facts were still fresh in your mind immediately after the incident on the 29th of October 2014.
Ngathi ke kokuqala la owenza khona ke ukuthi noma ukhombeke umuntu egasi yena ke nkathi lokho kwenzeka ke besehlakalo kwakuse fresh kuwena emqondweni.
Mawuthi mistaken identity usho ukuthini ngoba mina ngathi kunama similarities angishongo ukuthi uyena.
What do you mean when you say mistaken identity? Because I never said that that person was indeed the person. I said that there were similarities.
This document is recorded for the purpose by the officer who is conducting parade. And he signed and confirmed that this document is correct. He wrote that you indicated, in other words, you pointed out someone. I understand what we have said here in court, but taking it from the form as is, you indicated someone.
Ngiyakuzwa wena okushoyo kodwa ke lo muntu obhalayo lana ukubhala ke uyakubhala ke lokho okulana abesefunga futhi abesesayinda futhi ngiyakuzwa lokho okushoyo kodwa yena ke la ngendlela abhala ngayo wathi wena unomuntu owamkhomba.
Bengicela sibize yena azoyikhulumela ukuthi wayibhala ngoba ecabangani noma engizwe ngithini ngoba mina into engayisho ngithi ama similarities angishongo ukuthi uyena even noma ngiphuma lapha ngaphuma kazi kahle ukuthi akekho lapha.
I would then request that person be called and that person explain as to what was he or she thinking when writing and what did he or she think was saying, because even I said there were similarities. Even on my way out, I knew very well that person was not amongst those that were there.
But at the end of the day, according to this form, this person was identified wrongly.
But this witness is trying to explain. She contests the authenticity and veracity of that form, in other words. So this gentleman who wrote that, like she suggests intelligently, must be called.
Thank you, my lord. Can I refer the witness to the photo album of the same ID parade?
Okay.
I've requested also it, so that we can look at that person whom you pointed out during that ID parade as the second suspect.
The one holding number 2.
The one holding number 2. Mr. Sibanda, can you show it there on the screen?
You've got the photo here.
I don't have it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. One number.
Do you see the height of the person, the number 2 of the person who was pointed out at, who is being referred to as the person pointed out during the ID parade?
Uyabona ubude bakhe lo muntu lona ke number 2, lo phethe number 2.
Mawuthi ubude isithombe nizobona kanjani ubude bomuntu?
When you say the height, now in a photo, how are you able to see a person's height?
Okay. The first one in that photo is shorter. I'm talking about the height of all those people who are there.
Ngikhuluma ke ukulingana kwabo noma ubude babo bonke laba abalapha yana.
Ushe emakhanda kuphela.
Only referring to the heads.
Yeah, the height of a person.
Makunje angikwazi ukubheka ngikwazi ukubona. I can't really tell.
If it's like that, I can't really tell. I can't see.
The first one is shorter. The second one is shorter than the first one. The third one is shorter than the second. The fourth one is shorter than the third one.
Oh, chaza lokho bengithi mhlambe ufuna ukuthi ngazi ukuthi umude kangakanani.
Is that what you're saying? Because I thought you wanted me to know how tall he is.
Okay. Now you see the height for the second one.
Yes.
Yes.
That is short.
Mfusha.
And the one we have identified as the second suspect, he was tall.
Lona wena ke omchaze nanjengomude, nanjengowesibili wayemude.
Okokuqala lo mangimbiza bengimbiza as the first suspect mangim identifier ngama facial contours ibala lakhe elimnyama elicwebezelayo ngangimlantoza as the first one.
When I called this particular person to come closer, I was identifying this person as the first suspect. With regards to the facial contours, his dark, shiny skin.
Are you number 2?
Not number 2.
Also, in this ID parade, you were referring to suspect number 1.
Number 1.
Thank you, my lord. I have no further questions to that. Can I ask that video clip be played? I just want to take you through few comments that you made in the video clip.
But she suggests the killing may have actually been a hit made for Kelly, who was having an affair with the star at the time. 5 men are currently on trial.
Zandi, thank you so much for your time. Let's just start with the fact that it's been 8 years since that fateful evening. It's something that I think hangs over your family's head. How are you? How have the past 8 years been?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm a happy person. I'm happy at home, family's great. And obviously we have this cloud hanging over us. And I want people to understand that I am not here to speak ill of anyone. I am not here to protect anyone. But I'm just here to raise my concerns on the case, of course, and also shine the light on the things that were happening behind the scenes that I feel people should know about, or the country must know about, that were never spoken about, you know. So I'm just gonna take you back to the first day's Balama statements, because all along was local citizens and you know, obviously wanting them to find these perpetrators, find these suspects, but oh yes, Sahamba in the morning, we were called to give our statements in the morning. I was one of the first people that gave her statement. Right after that, we were asked to go to some room to finish the illustration and name of the suspects, of the people we saw that came into the house. We did that as well, and our phones were taken from us, or to investigate one another. And then they brought them back, I think a day later, if I'm not mistaken. And then leading, I think a couple of months down the line, Kwabanento social media that ATA Urokwe was the one to pull the trigger. Everybody saying that. And then eventually Longwe and myself were called. I remember we were at Longwe's grandmother's house. They came in the morning to come and fetch us. Simply because we want to help in any way that we can. So we were taken to Pretoria Police Station, SCBD. I don't know if you know it. And then got there, we were put in different rooms, interrogated. We were not questioned. There's a difference between questioning a person, asking a question for understanding, and interrogating a person. So we interrogated no longer, him on the other room, me on the other room. And then same time, our phones were taken again. I don't know what they were hoping to find, but Ibona Bangastre. Right after that, we were sent back home, Satara Salinda. And then came another day where we were asked now to come and give additional statements. I remember that day, it was 2018, and I just released my album, so somewhere in February. So I left shooting in Yenza in the morning with the kids in my pajamas, because as Funuk says, I went straight from the shoot to the police station in Fort Loras this time. And we got there around about 2 p.m. And from there onwards, we stayed up until 9. And for me, for Umuntu also nigeza additional statement simply means whatever information that we feel was left out. Yeah, we are not starting from over. Even original statements did not take that long. But we were all put together in different rooms. I was in my own room with about 5 to 6 officers, one lady, the rest was male. And I was asked questions. Whoever they felt like wanted to ask question would ask that question. And we kept on, I kept on repeating the same thing over and over, and it was tiring. We couldn't even go to the bathroom, you know? And later gave us about, okay guys, you guys can go. So I so we went. I remember at some point my voice was tired, and I had a show the following day. And then from there onwards, let me just check again. Oh, and then we were called for a role play. kuthiwa-ke manje you guys must be taken back to the scene. Wonke umuntu uzosibonisa ukuthi mina bengimela ubani bani. Well, that day I remember it was me and my sister and my mother. The others we did not see. Asazi noma bafike before Tina or bafike after Tina, you know. But that day it was myself, my mother, and my sister came. So we waited at my parents' house because we were no longer staying at that house and there was no one there. So while we were waiting that side, they had people, the characters that we had to, you know, okay, lo, ngimbona as maybe sense, or lo, ngimbona maybe as ulongwe, or lo, ngimbona as the perpetrator. So they even had props just to make everything make sense. So we went in one by one, came back. Hey man, I won't lie to you, it was the toughest time. Just give me a moment. Yeah, it was a rough time. And we were done. And then we went back home and then we waited. And then obviously social media is happening, papers writing, TV's talking, and still nothing on those people. And then again, I think about, I don't know how many years later, we were called for a lie detector test.
There was a lie
detector test. Lie detector test, they fetched us in the morning. We went. In fact, you're not supposed to see each other, or you're not supposed to speak to each other, or whatever, I don't know. Which was also one of the things that made me really concerned.
Yeah. Do you remember maybe how long after that they called you for these lie detector tests?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 2018 or 17, somewhere there. Yeah, somewhere there. And then we were called for those lie detector tests. We went. In Kumbula, there was some dude, tall dude, intimidating looking kind of dude, who was asking questions, and obviously they had those things that they put on you and you ask questions. And nothing came of it. Even no one would come back and say, we passing like detector test, or we failing the social work or whatever. So I assumed okay, since no one is saying anything, we passing like detector test, because if makes so isn't it? Right. So went back home and we waited on the police. But I guess it's one thing I also want you to understand is that I don't degrade me. I'm Lona Fuji Police, you know. But looking at this whole situation, not to call umuntu oshonile endlini and umyeni kamuntu or boyfriend yomuntu, the first suspect would be obviously maybe the girlfriend or the wife. And in all of this, Tina silandiwe formally detector test, Tina senzeni, but no one has ever looked at Umandisa. No one. Tina wethu amafoni ayathathwa. Umandisa ifoni ayithathwa ngani? Umandisa ka-investigatewa ngani? Not so long ago, Magasenzo said on national television ukuthi she tried by all means to make sure ukuthi umshado kaKhili Nosenzo does not happen, or amalobolo does not happen. Wahamba wayofuna umuntu wesichitho.
Can we just pause there?
So my question is,
Thank you, my lord. Ms. Khumalo, I just want to get clarity on what you said there, to say the deceased mother went to get umuthi wesichitho.
Into ayisho ku Netflix.
That is, sorry.
Nami bengiquota yona into ayisho ku Netflix.
It's what she said on Netflix. I was also quoting that which she said on Netflix.
Okay. And initially you said the person who should be suspected is the girlfriend and the wife.
Ushilo ke ekuqaleni wathi abantu ekufanele noma umuntu ekufanele aphenywe noma investigatewe igirlfriend noma unkosikazi.
bengisho futhi based on ukuthi umuntu lo usuke elantoza usuke kusiphi isimo usuke eshadile noma usuke ene girlfriend bengisho kuleso simo.
I was saying that taking into account whatever the particular person's situation or position is, whether the person would have been married or not.
And from the evidence of the SMSs that was submitted before this court, from those messages, it is Miss Kelly Khumalo who wanted to get rid of the deceased.
Umage ubheka-ke, sorry.
As a court, please, I don't think that is correct. I think it's more about the ending of the relationship and not getting
Get rid of means kill, murder. She wanted to end the relationship because she found herself in an untenable situation in that there was no certainty about the relationship she was having with the deceased, because the deceased was also having his wife.
Yes.
And then there's talk about Lobola,
Yes.
supposed to take the Kelly as the second wife. I don't know.
Yes.
It's terrible.
As the court pleases, my lord, as the court is correcting the record, the person who had a sour relationship, according to this exhibit, it was Miss Kelly Khumalo and the deceased.
Yes. They were involved in a love triangle. Like the evidence says, Senzo's wife, Mandisa, she was in Joburg on the day Senzo was allegedly murdered. And yet, Kelly was also there. So the women, Baga Senzo, they were all gravitating in the same pool, as he put it.
Yes, my lord. Can I proceed, my lord?
Hello?
And can I proceed, my lord?
Yeah.
Thank you. And Miss Mandisa Mkhize, we do not have any records of the cell phone which shows that he didn't want the relationship he had with the deceased, other than the exhibit 01.
Asinabo ubufakazi obushoyo-ke ukuthi uMiss Mandisa Mkhize.
God, please, my lord, how will the witness know that she's not the investigating officer?
Well, as I recall the evidence, whose, what do you call this, hair braids?
The hair pieces.
Yeah, the hair, who pulled whose hair pieces? You remember? There was that evidence.
Yes, my
I
lord.
listened, Mina Court.
Yes, my lord. Umandisa owadonsa inwele za Kelly
Yes, I remember that.
Mandisa pulled Haley's care at the hospital.
Yes, my lord. But my question has not been answered.
No, you said there was no acrimony, in other words, between Mandisa and
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
And yet we know, I listened to evidence which says the tuft of hair was winched out of Kelly's head by Mandisa.
And my lord, to add to that, khona isithombe la esikhona, I think ey'thombeni ecompiliwe emini uKelly wayithwele iduku ngoba wayivala khona ukuthi inwele sezisukile lapho and akakatholi isikhathi sokuthi hamba wayilungisa.
And my lord, just to add on to that, amongst the photos, I saw a photo of Kelly where she is wearing a headgear or a duke, and there she was still covering her head because she hadn't yet had time to go and fix that.
Okay, can we adjourn for 15 minutes?
maybe yena nomalokazana wakhe baletha abantu, not necessarily to target uSenzo, but to target uKelly, to make sure that this does not happen. And also one of my other concerns is that the police are just fishing in one pond. Why can't we look at other avenues? Because sina 8 years manje school and but wonke umuntu ubheke in one direction.
Okay.
And aphumi answer kulo direction is bheke. Why can't we look at other people, look at other possible or possibilities?
About the second docket, when
Yeah.
you and your sister and everyone is in the house of suspects. When did you learn of the second docket? And just maybe elaborate on.
Sorry, what seems to be the problem? I don't know. Oh, when did it start?
Just now.
Okay. So it's not recording the recording. Just as a matter of interest, what is the status, evidential-wise, Mr. Baloi, of this so-called video? Jurisprudentially, what is its status?
Well, I think it serves two purposes. Firstly, as a real exhibit of the fact that there was this interview between a witness and ENCA journalist. But secondly, maybe it's documentary evidence of that interview. But
And it's evidence before this court.
yes, but as to its importance, we really have serious doubts about
The
that.
property value, yes,
It's
Mr. Mshodolo,
just-
you can address me after.
Just an opinion of a witness during a press interview which was conducted when these proceedings were underway. In fact, it's the sub judice rule was breached. So yeah, its status it's very doubtful, my lord.
You can address me after cross-examining on it. You can educate me. Right? Yes. Is it
How would make you feel? Because in one docket, you are a victim, and then the other docket, you're a suspect.
As I mentioned in my one of my posts on Instagram, I felt like the case was just bekandlalo, because you can't have a docket yokuqala and then we are witnesses, we are victims, and then the next when did we get to that 360? How did we get to that answer? And it comes up in the second docket, even all along. Unless you just want to pin something on, obviously, the people that are just right there so that you can get this over and done with.
So do you think this entire trial in itself is a farce?
I must say, honestly, I don't trust that man for one.
Have you been contacted by the state?
No, I have not. No, I have not. Ever. And another thing that's also like a serious concern for me is that kuthiwa abantu baboshiwe, thina njengabantu abababona abantu abangena endlini, we were not called to ID these people. Why? Is it because now everything has suddenly changed and now we are suspects?
Do you recognize any of those?
They were wearing masks half of the time. So there's no way I can say Hilo or Hilo. And none of those guys had dreadlocks. Some of them have gained weight. It's been a while.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
right
Thank
now
you. Can you
I
pause
can't say Okwana no Mageko between.
Thank you, my lord. Miss? Can I proceed, my lord?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, my lord. Ms. Khumalo, I just want to get clarity on that part when you said half of the time they were wearing masks. Which stage were you referring to? Were you referring to the time when the incident took place or at the time when they appeared in court?
Kunendawo laphayana ke uthi isikhathi esiningi babegqoke noma befake ama-mask. Ubusho ngalesiya sikhathi sokwenzeka kwesigameko noma ngenkathi bevela enkantolo?
Lesikhathi bevela enkantolo kodwa ngingazi ukuthi kwakuwo okokuqala noma okwesibili noma okwesithathu kodwa mina mengibabona ngalolu suku lolo babeyivale nje ngempela.
It was during their court appearance, I don't know whether it was for the first, the second or the third appearance, but when I saw them, they were just covered.
Okay. At the time of the incident, is there any of the intruder who was wearing mask or balaclava?
Ngaleliya langa lesigameko ingabe ukhona kulaba ababili abangena owayefake noma i-mask noma i-balaclava?
Njengoba bese ngichazile wedwa wayefake isigqoko omunye efake i-hoodie.
No, as I've already explained, the one was wearing a hat and the other a hoodie.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Khumalo. I will just put to you the accused number 5 version is that he denies the allegations against him. Put against him, he was never there during the robbery or when the incident took place.
Okokuqala ke ngizokutshela ke okushiwo umsolwa ke engimele umsolwa wesihlanu uthi ke insolo ayibekwayo akazani nazo futhi ke wayengekho lapha yana ngaleliya langa.
Do you have any comment?
Njengoba bese ngichazile ukuthi mina ngabona abantu ababili abangena endlini. Ukuthi yena uthinteka kanjani lokho sesingabeka emaphoyiseni ukuthi asichazele kabanzi based on the evidence.
As I've already said that I saw 2 people on the day that entered the house. As to how he is involved, that we can leave to the police to explain in detail.
Thank you, my lord. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Any re-examination, Mr. Baloyi?
As a court, please, my lord, just some few aspects. Ma'am, in cross-examination by Mr. Ramosipili for accused number 1 and 2, as well as yesterday by counsel for accused number 4, Advocate Khumalo, you were asked about your observation of the 2 intruders. And you mentioned that you set your eyes upon them when they entered the door, the kitchen door.
Nkathi ububuzwa noma owawubuzwa ngayo ke imibuzo uyena uadvocate noma Mr. Ramosipile omele umsolo wokuqala kanye nowesibili na izolo ke nkathi ubuzwa uyena uadvocate Khumalo omele umsolo wesine ubuziwe ke ngendlela owabona ngayo labo bantu abangena endlini ngaleliyana washo ukuthi wababona ke nkathi babengena emnyango.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
And you mentioned that you saw them through that opening between the wall and the fridge.
Washo nokuthi futhi ke wababona ke kule la okuvuleke khona ke phakathi kobonda kanye ne-fridge.
Cha ngithe ngababona kahle phakathi khona umnyango olida epassage.
I said that there was a door leading to the passage coming from the kitchen.
Ila ngafika khona ngapopola kanje ngobulongo wayehleli ngapha kwa left wami, so ngapopola I had to lean forward kancane.
That's where I peeped through because Longo was seated on my left, so I had to lean forward and peep through a bit.
Yes. But from that moment on, from that moment when you first set your eyes on them, up until when you left them in the kitchen to run to the bathroom, did you have them all the time in your sight, or was there a point in time when they were out of your sight?
Kodwa ke kusukela ngaleso sikhathi leso owaqala ngaso ukubabona kwaze kwayisikhathi la ubaleka khona ubashiya ekitchen uya ebathroom. Ingabe ngaso sonke isikhathi abantu owawubabona noma sikhona isikhathi la ababeke bakusithekela khona wangababoni?
So okokuqala njengoba besengichazile ukuthi ngibabone mabengena kulomnyango lo wasekitchen olidela ephasishini, and then ngaphinde ngababona kahle futhi mase sibadudula sibasa ekitchen, and then mase siqala futhi sesithatha one by one sesibashaya silwa nabo ila futhi ngababona kahle futhi lo mude lo accused number 2 uyena engangiqondane naye mina, and then mase ngise ebathroom futhi kanjalo, and then mase ngipopola ususpect number 1 ila ngambona kahle futhi mayiselwa noma okokuqala wayibheke estanding, and then mayisebuya ila futhi ngaphinde ngambona khona kahle.
I saw them, as I said, that is now through that door, coming from the kitchen leading to the passage. Then when we were now pushing them going towards the kitchen, and I choose number 2 is the one that I was in direct contact with. And then there was also the time when I went into the bathroom and then peeped through the door. So I suspect number 1 at the time when he was fighting with my mother. At the time he was with his back against me, but then when he turned around, I then saw him.
Njengoba besengishilo ukuthi besisekitchen sonke, and some of them most of the people abalapha endlini badenyana kunami. I think I'm the shortest endlini, so bengibabona ngama segment.
As I've already said that we had then pushed them into the kitchen, and then when we were in the kitchen, most of the people that were there in the house were taller than me. I was the shortest, so I would see them in segments.
And then accused number 2 uyena omude kunathi sonke laphayana, so okwakhe bekuyena obeqhashela noma kuthiwa ngemuva ubukwazi ukumbona kahle.
Accused number 2 was the tallest of all the people that were there. So when
mina kwakungathi isikhathi eside.
For me, because that was a very traumatic experience of my life, it seemed like a long time.
Kungenzeka ukuthi isikhathi sasisifika.
Might have been short, but to me, it felt like a long time.
Now, counsel for accused number 4, Advocate Khumalo, referred you to Exhibit 02. These are the text messages between you and Longwe.
Ubuziwe ke uyena Advocate Khumalo ngayo Exhibit 02 ama messages phakathi kwakho noLongwe.
He referred you to page 46.
Just a moment.
And the text message read, "I'm outside." Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Counsel for accused number 4 further put it to you that you were protecting Longwe.
Okunye futhi ke akushilo kwena ke ummeli wakho umsolo wesine ukuthi wena uyamvikela uLongwe.
Ngikuzwile lokho akade kusho kodwa anginaso isizathu sokuthi ngimvikele uLongwe.
I heard what he said, but I have no reason to protect Longwe.
He even asked you to describe Longwe.
Asecela nokuthi umchazeke noma umusho uLongwe.
Yebo njani?
Yes, that's true.
If briefly, starting on page 45, just to contextualize the text messages between you and Longwe, if you can refer to the third from the bottom, the third message from the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah, just put it on record.
La angiboni kahle angifakile ama specs namhlanje, but uthi are you on stage yet?
Ngibuza ke ukuthi ngabe sengise staging yini?
Yes, and the next message.
Elandelayo.
and then I think le ibuya kumina ngikhuluma naye ngithi
Sorry, going down or going up?
going up.
Going down.
Going down.
Oh, iti can I sleep over at your house tonight?
Elandelayo ke uyabuza ukuthi ngalala kuwena namhlanje ebusuku.
And there are terms there, angel and sunshine. What do they refer to?
Kusho ukuthini ke labo o angel labo sunshine?
Ulongwe ivamise ukungibiza ngo sunshine.
Longwe used to call me sunshine.
Yes.
And
how did you address him?
Wena uthini umbiza?
Kwakuphakathi kwa angel or dimples.
It was between angel or dimples.
Yes. The next message.
Esibili iti yes because yes but because pet angiboni kahle here is here, I think that's what he meant, is here, can we chill at Kelly's house until they sleep?
Yebo ngoba uphethi ukhona ke lana singahlala ke kwaKelly kuze kube isikhathi balala ngaso.
Yes. Next message.
Next page.
Yes. Page 46, the first message there.
Okay, I think le iqhamuka kumini yakuyena iti at the house.
I think this one is from me to him, saying at the house, endlini.
Yes. The next message.
Iti can you come to my house now and we will chill then we'll chill there and leave to your house later.
Ena ke ithi ungeza ke kwami noma kumina endlini sizohlala khona ke bese sihamba ke later.
Yes. From whom to whom?
I think it's from me. Yeah.
Ngicabanga ukuthi buya kumina ke or him.
Angiboni kahle.
I can't see properly.
Yes. Yes, there's a
I
number.
think iqhamuka kumina.
I think it was from me.
Yes. Yes, next message.
And then uti your mom's.
Kwama wakho.
Yes.
I think ngase ngiphendula nami lana ngathi yep.
I then answered and said yep.
And then why said I'm coming.
Wathi yena ke and then he said ngiyeza.
Yes.
And then ngase ngiphendula ngithi okay my baby.
I then responded by saying okay my baby.
Yes.
I think futhi ngase ngim
I checked him again asking him ukuthi ukude kangakanani.
why said 10 minutes.
He then said 10 minutes.
Ngathi mina okay.
I said okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it ended up in that message when he said he's outside.
Yebo kunjani.
That's correct.
And how would you characterize the relationship between you and Longwe?
Ungachaza kanjani ke ubudlelwane phakathi kwakho noLongwe?
Ngasho ukuthi nje sasise honeymoon stage.
I can say that we were still at the honeymoon stage.
If one looks at Exhibit 01, I'm sorry,
Kusuka ku-17 ukuyofika ke
in broad outline, what was the nature of those messages?
aye kanjani ke lama message noma inature yawo lama messages la.
Njenga wonke umuntu abantu abathandanayo mina noLongwe nathi besifonelana sicheckana udli.
And I, just like any couple, would call each other, ask each other how you were doing, what did you eat, and what it is that you ate. There were back and forth messages and back and forth phone calls. And how's your day?
Thank you. In cross-examination by counsel for accused number 4, Advocate Khumalo, he put your statements to you and took you through your evidence. He also touched on the aspect of the number of shots that were fired in your presence.
U-advocate Khumalo ke ukubuzile ngey'statement zakho kanye futhi nobufakazi bakho obushilo la enkantolo wase futhi ekhuluma ke nangokuqhuma kwey'bhamu noma ke ama-shots adutshulwa ukhona
as well as those that were fired whilst you were in the bathroom.
nalawo ke noma futhi nokuqhuma kwey'bhamu ke nkathi use-bathroom.
Can you perhaps clarify to the court how many shots were fired in your presence there in the kitchen and how many were fired there whilst you're in the bathroom?
Awukutshele le nkantolo ukuthi saqhuma kangaki isibhamu usekitchen sase siqhuma kangaki nkathi use-bathroom.
Engikukhumbulayo ukuthi esokuqala isibhamu masisho isona esangithusa. And I think for any other person ukuthi mawuzwa isibhamu siqhuma okokuqala futhi kuwesi mina inhlansi yangishayo onyaweni iyona yangithuma e-bathroom.
With regards to what happened, my lord, is that when the first shot went off, that's the one that scared me or that made me to be shocked. And the worst for me that it hit me, or the spark hit me on my foot, and that's the shot that led me to run to the bathroom.
And then thereafter, gelana manya selandela ngangise bathroom.
And then thereafter, when the others followed, I was in the bathroom. Two of them.
So kusho ukuthi in total ama gunshots ayo 3.
Which means in total there were 3 gunshots.
Counsel for accused number 4, Advocate Khumalo, put the following proposition to you that you, your mother, and Togo have a tendency to point out persons willy-nilly to avoid a suspicion that the deceased was killed by one of the persons in the house.
Okunye futhi okushiwo kuwena kushiwo yena ke advocate wakhe umsolo wesine ukuthi wena ke uma wakho kanye nomthoko ninale tendency yokuthi nikhombe nje abantu ke engasibona ke ukuthi nisuseke insolo zokuthi umufi wadutshulwa umuntu kulaba ababesendlini.
When he asks you that whether you have said anything regarding his client, the involvement of his client,
futhi sekubuza ukuthi ingabe khona yini okushilo kubufakazi bakho mayelana nomsolo amele,
you answer that you've already pointed out the second suspect that you identified as accused number 2, and that there is another suspect, but that you have suspicions about, but that you are not going to point out the suspect.
Ushilo ke ukuthi uma esekubuza ke ngomsolo ameleke noma ukuthi akudalutho oyishilo ngomsolo amele wasuphendula ke wena ke ukuthi ukhona oneyinsolo ngaye kodwa ke awungeke uze ukhombe umuntu nje kuphela ngeinsolo.
Yebo kunjani?
Yes, that's true.
And finally, if we can refer to the report that all the counsel took you through of the facial identification expert, Warrant Officer Steenkamp. Advocate Khumalo referred to page 4 of this report, and he placed the following on record that on Monday, 29 October 2014, that this interview was conducted on 29 October 2014.
Lana ke usukhonjwa ke noma ke okubonisiwe ukuthi interview lena ke iyenzeka noma yenziwa nge-29 zika October 2014.
Yebo kunjani?
That's correct. Yes.
You testified in evidence in chief that you went to the police station on Monday, the 27th, and after making your statement, you then went to see the facial identification expert.
Ushilo ke uma unikeza ngomfakazi bakho ukuthi ngomsombuluko nge-27 zika October 2014 wahamba ke waye ku-ID parade. Uma ususuka lapha ke wa-attenda yona le.
Yebo kunjalo. Into engifuna ukuyisho futhi ukuthi njengoba sasibaningi sasifakwe vele emarumini ahlukahlukene kodwa kwathiwa njengoba I think ama officers ayengekho enough ukuthatha statement ngalolu suku kwase kuthiwa abanye abaqale ku ID parade ku ID identification lantos and then kuzothi thina la besiqeda ukubhala statement bese siyaswapha kanjalo.
The other thing that I would like to say is that because we were many on that day and we were put in different offices, and I think it was also mentioned that there were not enough officers. What was then said was that the others would start with the ID parade whilst we were busy making statements, and once we were done, then we will have to swap.
Is by that date of 29 October 2014, is that correct?
Kodwa ke yona date le yange 29 October 2014.
Hayi ngibone ngathi kunephutha lapho.
I think there's a mistake there.
Yes, what is the correct date?
Yiphi ekuyona?
The correct date is 27.
It's the 27th.
You were also referred to the third paragraph, almost all the council, where it was pointed out that you could not describe the second suspect.
Onke ke noma bonke ke abameli bakhombe kule paragraph kakhulukazi la egcineni ke la kubhalwe khona ukuthi wawungakwazi ke ukuthi umchaze umsolo wesibili.
Yes.
Njengoba bese ngishilo phambilini ukuthi ngazi ukuthi kunokuphazama okukhona lapho akuna ukuthi ku statement ngizomdescribe umuntu mase ngifika ekumdwebeni bese ngiba nenkinga.
As I've already mentioned that there's a mistake there, and in that there's no way that I would be able to describe a person as far as the statement is concerned, and then when it comes to the drawing now, that's correct, the drawing, then I fail to do that.
Yes, and just now when Advocate Mshololo cross-examine you, you finish an explanation regarding this particular sentence.
Khona manje nje nkathi ubuzwa uyena ke uAdvocate Mshololo uchazile mayelana nale sentence lena. Yona le yokugcina.
Yebo ngichazile.
Yes, I gave an explanation.
Now, in your explanation, you say an identification kit of the second suspect was already compiled, and you confirmed, you added certain features and then confirmed.
Umuchaza ke ushilo ukuthi kwakusedwetshiwe noma ke kwakusekufakelwe ke wena ke wa confirm nje kuphela futhi sorry.
My lord, I object to this line of re-examination. It's inviting the witness to repeat what he has said.
What's wrong with that?
My lord, there's no purpose for that because now the witness is changing his testimony.
Yeah, put it how he's changing the testimony. How is he changing?
In giving answers, my lord.
Yes, what is he saying? Because I heard Mr. Baloi asking her that did she give an explanation regarding Warrant Officer Stein's query about the fact that she said apparently she couldn't explain the identity of the second suspect, and she denies that. I thought he's clarifying that aspect, Mr. Baloi.
Indeed, my lord.
As the court pleases.
Now, this sketch, the identity kit that was shown to you, which one was it? The one that you confirmed.
Yipi le owayiboniswa owayivezelwa ke le owaconfirma kuyona wena?
Suspect number 2 oku accused number 2 Landland.
It's suspect number 2. Who is accused number 2 here in court?
Thank you, Mano. Those are the only aspects that we wanted to canvass with the witness.
Okay. Yeah, just a bit of clarification for me. There's something that baffles my common sense. If you can explain, please, to Advocate Khumalo, I think Advocate Mshololo, I don't know, I can't remember with the other two colleagues. They put it to you that no two suspects ever entered your mother's house on that particular day. You heard that?
Kunento ke lana ke engihluphayo njena ke la emqondweni u-advocate uNqumalo u-advocate Mshololo angikhumbule ke abanye la ebebekutshela khona ke ukuthi abekho abantu ababili abangena kini.
Ngibazwile besho njalo kodwa engizocela ukuthi bakuprove lokho.
I heard them saying that, but what my request is for them to prove that.
Yeah, actually, Advocate Khumalo says amongst yourselves in that house, 7 of you. I even added the young boy, is it Christopher? Christian. 7 of you are the ones who killed Senzo. You heard that?
Uqhubekekile ke uadvocate uNqumalo ngize mina ngafaka ke na ke uChristian wathi nina ke no 7 lapha endlini ke omunye wenu ke yena wabulala uSenzo.
Cha futhi akunjalo. Akekho wabulala uSenzo lapha endlini sangenelo.
That's not the case, my lord. No one amongst us killed Senzo. They were intruders.
And futhi makuwukuthi bakholelwa yilokho bengingathanda ukuthi baze nayo iproof yokubonisa ukuthi akunamuntu owangena lapha endlini.
And if that is what they are saying, my lord, I would also then request them to bring proof that indeed there were no intruders there.
Futhi mawulandela my lord kwesinye isikhathi bathi khona abantu abangena bayavuma ukuthi khona abantu abangena kwesinye isikhathi baphinde bangibuza imibuzo yokuthi bangitshela ukuthi abekho abantu abangena so lapho kuyaxeka ngempela.
The other thing, my lord, is when you follow on the one side they say that there were no intruders, and then on the other side they ask me questions with regards to intruders. So, my lord, there is just a contradiction there.
Yeah, okay, Advocate Mshololo actually says your version is a fabrication that there were any intruders. Remember that.
Advocate, my lord?
Mshololo.
Okay. Advocate Mshololo uthi ke into yakhiwe lena ukuthi ke kunabantu abangena lapha yana.
Ebengifisa ukwazi ukuthi ngabe sisithole nini isikhathi sokwakha lelo tulo. Ngoba futhi kwathi makusuka yonke into lapho mina abanye basebephumile nami ngaphuma emaphethelweni ngiya kwamaphiri mangibuya ngaye esibhedlela mangibuya kunamaphoyisa endlini so ngasiphi isikhathi la singafike khona sihlale phansi sithi nanti itulo siyalakha sizothi kanje emaphoyiseni and by now I think amaphoyisa ahlakaniphe kakhulu ngabe sebeyitholile neloophole ukuthi besinamanga.
My lord, at which time, what I would like to know is to when and at which time did you then come together to come up with that conspiracy theory? Because the others had gone out. I was the last one to go out. We went to hospital. When I came back, there were police officers down and for the loophole.
Of you must have or should have killed him. But then what baffles me, Sizwe is taken...
Senzo, my lord.
Senzo is taken into the X6, as you call it, struggling. 2 of his friends, of the neighbor's friends, you say, they were struggling to lift him up into the back seat. Ultimately, pull him into the back seat. And then Kelly comes and drives like a mad person, rushing to hospital with you and the other gentleman in the car. You frantically make it on time at the hospital because they declare Senzo deceased when he has already been in the ward. But what surprises me, why would you take all these efforts to save his life after having succeeded in killing him?
Kunjalo, my lord.
Then you take him to the hospital so that he must be saved. In other words, because what do you do if you take a person who's been shot to hospital? You want to save his life.
Yebo kunjalo, my lord.
And when you get there, okay, unfortunately Senzo deceases. Then you all go back into the house where you killed him. All of you. How? Can you explain that to me? Whether it makes sense.
Nami yangixaka, my lord, ngoba hey kuninga sebekushilo nami okuvele nje kungiqeda amandla.
It also baffles me, my lord, because there's quite a lot that they've already said that just makes me to be powerless.
Yeah, because you also testify that you try to limit the bleeding. Because you all know if you bleed from the chest, you bleed to death sometimes.
Kunjalo, my lord.
That's correct, my lord.
Okay. All right, let's come to some other aspect then. And you are saying there is an assertion, I speak under correction, Ms. Mshololo. It was put to you that you won't dispute that Sizwe,
Senzo. You, my lord.
Senzo, sorry about that. Senzo was dispossessed of his firearm. Is that what you said? Ms. Mshololo, I mustn't misquote you. Was at some stage dispossessed of the firearm and shot by an intruder. We can't dispute that. Is that how you put it?
The other way around, my lord.
Senzo, my lord.
You didn't put it that way.
No, I don't remember that. Referring to Senzo.
You're saying who disarmed? You can't dispute that somebody was disarmed. Who was disarmed?
The suspect.
That's the point of the very thing you had put earlier, that no suspects ever entered. But subsequently, there's a mutually assertive and destructive version which is put that one of the suspects, we can't dispute it, could have dispossessed the firearm and shot at Senzo. Yeah, how do you explain that?
Kunalokho kubekushilo ngithi kuloko ekusho inkantolo ukuthi kuyaphazamisa ukuthi eqalekeni noma eqaleni kuthiwe abekho abantu abangiphikiseke ukuthi uma kuukuthi ukho
nkathi esedutshulwa mangizwa leso sibhamu esishaye yena. So ukuthi mhlambe nami ngibalwa lapho angazi akacacisanga futhi. It
also baffles me, my lord, as to where Advocate Mshololo got that from, because there were intruders. And also, my lord, I was in the bathroom when that shot went off. As to whether I'm also counted amongst those, I don't know.
And if uyakholelwa yilokho ngicela ukuthi alethe iproof la icourt sibone sonke ukuthi nangempela khona wafika wathatha isibhamu kanjani wayesedu Lusenzo.
And if she really believes that, I would then request or ask that she brings that proof to the court so that we are all able to see as to indeed that someone was dispossessed and so a Senzo was shot.
Could you just play photo numbers 18 and 19? I think it's exhibit 18 and 19, Mr. Baloyi. Is that the ones? 18 and 19 at the door. Is it D, 18 and 19? Sorry, just take this.
Those 18 and 19 of Exhibit D.
Yeah, can you just give me these? On the screen there. Yeah, 18, 19. Yeah, that's the one there. Sorry, ma'am. That photo, what does it show?
This is Tombe Komsan.
Ukreka komnyango.
The cracking of the door.
So is it from outside or from inside?
Ngaphandle, ngaphakathi.
Ngaphakathi.
Inside.
Do you know what caused that cracking, as you call it?
Yazi imbangela yale cracking.
Okokuqala le cracking yayingekho all along. Kodwa kwathi mase sibuye esibhedlela ila sibone khona.
Firstly, my lord, that cracking wasn't there all along, but when we came back from hospital, then we saw it.
But that door is the kitchen door.
Umnyango wase kitchen one.
Yebo my lord.
That's correct, my lord.
Khona futhi njengoba sisese kulesi sithombe my lord ebengifuna ukuchaza uadvocate Mshololo ukhulume ngestatement sikakhaya Ncatshe.
Okay, we'll come.
There's also another thing I would like to explain, my lord. Advocate Mshololo referred to Kaya Ncatshe's statement.
Yeah, I will come to that. Let's finish with photo number 19. And what do you see there in photo number 19?
Umnyango uhlahlekile futhi kuyabonakala ukuthi kusha.
The door, my lord, is damaged and it's quite obvious that it's new.
What caused that? Can you know?
Uyazi ukuthi kubangelwe yini lo yakho lokho?
Ucabanga kwami ibullet.
My thinking is that it's a bullet, my lord.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you're saying there's one thing you want to...
Khona isithombe I think 18.
18,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
We advocate Mshololo ube khuluma ngesikakhaya la bengichaza khona ukuthi indlu yasekhaya kitchen ime kanjani amafastera futhi ame kanjani.
Yes.
Where I was explaining, my lord, when I was confronted with Kaya Ngache's statement, where I was then given an explanation as to how our door is as well as the windows.
Njengoba sibona ukuthi kune curtain elilenga lapha.
As we can see that there's a curtain that's hanging there.
Umuntu ongaphandle akulula ukuthi abone ukuthi kwenzakalani ngaphakathi.
It is not easy for someone who's outside to see as to what's happening inside.
Okwesibili futhi kuno stop nonsense esidivide kwamakhelwane nasekhaya.
And there is this wall, my lord, in the township being referred to as the stop nonsense that divides our house as well as the neighbors.
Mina
This is the one on page 5, page 6 and 5. Just show him there. Is that the one?
isona lesi
Indeed, my lord.
So Kaya's house or home is on the other side.
Bukhaya lapha.
yebo kuboka khaya futhi ngicela
That's correct,
sibuke
my lord.
nokuthi amafastela wakuboka khaya ame kanjani.
Let's also see how their windows are, my lord. That is Kaya's home's windows.
This this stop nonsense, as you call it. Okay, we can see that it's a demarcation wall.
Sabona ukuthi ubonda olahlukanisayo.
Yebo kunjalo. So mina mangime ngaphandle angikwazi ukubona kuboka khaya ngokupheleleyo kumele ngize ngimemeze angikwazi ukubona.
When I'm standing outside in my home, my lord, I'm not able to see at Kaya's home in full. I have to shout or to scream out.
And vice versa with him. Can you actually stand on the other side? And if you have ever seen him do that, if you haven't, no problem.
Uma kuwukuthi awukazi umbone usho uma kodwa yena ke angithi ushilo ukuthi wena mawula akwazi ukubona yena ke uma engale kuba
mayengale kubo kumele azaphumele ngaphandle.
when he is that side, my lord, he has to come out.
And then mina kumele ngibe semnyango wasekitchen phezulu njengoba bese ngichazile ukuthi kune platform ana ethile okwazi ukuthi sikwazi ukubonana kahle mina
And
naye.
then I have to be outside, my lord. As I've already mentioned, there's that step I referred to. So for me and him to be able to see each other.
Unless ke mhlambe njengoba futhi nibone ukuthi stop nonsense masilokhu sehla siba sincane siba sifishane.
Or unless, as you would know or see, that the stop nonsense would then at times go down, my lord, and become shorter.
Okay, any questions arising from the later version she has placed before court? Mr. Ram, Mr. Messi, Khumalo?
Thank you, my lord, I have none, thank you.
No questions.
No questions. Okay, the other aspect I want to touch on, it's about Mapiri. We say he's a direct opposite neighbor.
Uchike uMaphiri yena ke direct opposite ne.
Opposite kuboka khaya kodwa mawubheke ngasekhaya kusezantsi nje kodwa direct.
It's direct opposite Kaya's home, my lord, but when you are at my house, it's just down.
How many houses down?
Ezantsi izindlu engaphi? Engaki.
This is your house, as it's shown there. You go down.
Indle eyodwa nje.
One house,
Thina khona sibhekane naye kwangathi babhekane noMaphiri. So mawusuka kuleyo ndlu indle eyodwa nje leyo ndlu mawuyibala bese kwamama.
It's just one house. From my home, you face that house, and then at the Ngaches, you face Maphiri's house, my lord.
And you say, after the shooting was over, as you say, the first house you went to is which one?
Uthi emuva kokuthi seqediwe ke noma iyiphi indlu yokuqala waya kuyona?
Ngaya kwaMaphiri.
Maphiri's house, my lord.
And you said, where was she standing? Was she inside the house?
Waye kuphi nendawo?
Oh, where was she standing?
Wayephambi kwe-washing line ngoba ngiyakhumbula ukuthi yonke into esayikhuluma sasiku-washing line noma ememeza uNthabiseng kwakulula ukuthi amemeza ngoba uNthabiseng wayesestradini sasiphambi kwe-washing line.
In front of the washing line, my lord, because and everything that we spoke about it right there. And even when she was calling out Ntabiseng, because Ntabiseng was on the street, it was very easy for her to call Ntabiseng.
Did she say anything about you?
Sorry, my
I
lord.
don't want to put words into your mouth. Mapiri, did she say anything about the incident to you? Anything you can think of?
Ukhona yini awakusho kuwena mayelana nesigameko uMaphiri awakusho kuwena mayelana nesigameko?
Cha, my lord.
No, my lord.
You are the one who told her about the incident.
Yes,
Imini
my lord.
ngifike ngamchazela yonke into waqala ke waphenika wakhala ngathi mina akafonela amaphoyisa noma iambulance waphenika wakhala wamemeza uNthabiseni.
I'm the one who relayed everything to her, my lord, and then she started to panic, asking her to call the police and the ambulance. Then she started to panic, cried, and called Ntabiseng.
Wayesethi uNthabiseni uyena okumele afone ngoba
then-
naye uyaphenika.
And then she said Ntabiseng should be the one to call because she was also panicking.
But what also deludes me, the neighbors, didn't they see anybody running along the street, either up or down?
Okunye futhi nje okungihluphayo ukuthi omakhelwane akekho nje umuntu abambona egijima ngomgwaqo noma ehla noma ekhuphuka ngawo umgwaqo.
My lord engikholelwa ikhona ukuthi
You mustn't tell me what they told you.
cha engikholelwa ikona ukuthi bakhona omakhelwane ababathathe amaphoyisa athathe istatement zabo ukuthi zithini angikho sure.
What I believe in, my lord, what I know is that there are neighbors from whom the police took statements. As to what is contained or what they said in those statements, I don't know.
Because it's amazing, in the location, the person just vanishes.
Ngoba ke mangazi ukuthi nje umuntu asuke nje agquke nje
Abondaba bagcwele
elokishini.
kanje. No. Just that, not even one person who said, I saw somebody jumping a fence, Ebokaya, or that type of thing. Nobody saw anything.
Akekho umuntu owabona lutho nje.
Ngikholelwa ukuthi bakhona ababonayo
Okay.
ngandlela thile.
I believe that there's those who saw in a particular way,
Kodwa
sorry,
istatement zabo azikafundwa la
Oh, I
enkantolo.
see.
but their statements haven't been read out here in court.
Okay, thanks. That's all, Mr. Baloyi.
That's all, my lord. Was the next witness, Mr. Kaya Sterling Ngashe?
Nashe, Sterling.
Yes, this is witness number 28 on the list.
Yeah.
Before the second witness come, can I ask for a 1 minute comfort break, my lord?
Okay.
That's
1 minute.
Yes.
You will be there by 1 minute.
Zandi Khumalo.
Start.
No, I'm ready to start.
For a greater lunch